Welcome to the League of Legends recap of the 5th week of the North American LCS. In the first game of the North American LCS, Team Liquid played against Winterfox with their new support, Americen. After a good initial laning results and after a few kills, Winterfox fell behind as both Keith and Quas were able to get multiple kills, especially pointing at Quas' solo kill on Avalon. Winterfox put much focus on early dragons, but didn't manage to get their first tower until later in the game. Thus Liquid managed to grab themselves a small lead until Winterfox dominated them in 2 consecutive teamfights by allowing Pobelter and Oltec to put out the maximum of their damage by stunlocking Liquid. Hereafter, Team 8 played against Gravity. The first 15 minutes of the game went fairly even. It wasn't until then that Team 8 managed to get the first towers in exchange for dragons, which gave them a small lead that they were set to enlarge, but the only thing holding them back from a bigger lead was Cop's ridiculous kill count and farm. Gravity then managed to slowly reduce Team 8's lead and get multiple kills for Cop, and then decided to go for a Nasher to then relatively easy outfight Team 8 and win with a now 10k lead on their back. In the third game, Cloud9 played against Team Impulse. Never giving away their lead after a fairly short laning phase, Cloud9 decided to keep roaming as a team, which led to them grabbing an early lead in towers and kills, as well as establishing better map pressure than their opponents. In the long run, the strategy paid off, as their team movements granted them 34 assists for only 14 kills, thus putting them in a comfortable enough lead to go for bigger fights and Nasher, making it possible to crack open the enemy space. After that, Dignitas fought Counterlogic Gaming. CLG, being the clear frontrunner for the game, didn't give away any objectives until the 19-minute mark by asserting dominance in lane and small skirmishes. Yet it needs to be noted that CLG did not play for those kills, but rather rushed objective after objective, only fetching themselves a majority of the kills until they had already won. CLG's clever deep warding solidified that success by making them able to evade their enemies and quickly push for another target on multiple occasions. For the last game of the first day, Team Solomid played against Team Coast. Going into the week, Coast swapped Jesses for their new mid laner Mancloud, stating they wanted to try out a new playstyle with the team. During his time at Vulcan, Mancloud was known for his high kill pressure and leading the league in kills. Despite his impressive resume, Bjergsen most certainly did not seem too impressed, as he killed him multiple times in lane on a skill-based matchup. Coast also went for the lane swap, but Dyrus succeeded in the 1v2, while the Janna Jinx comp easily got themselves the first tower. After this initial success, Team Solomid just kept rotating lane after lane, quickly dropping towers with their bot lane synergy and the catch-out potential by the rest of the team. The game went rather unspectacular, lasting only 23 minutes and resulting in another win for TSM. The second day started with Cloud9 versus Counterlogic Gaming. CLG decided to go for a minute 3 dragon, which Cloud9 used to rebalance the lanes in their favor. After those initial small advantages for CLG, Cloud9 managed to fight back by winning over small skirmishes and tower, and from then on kept going until the end of the game. Especially noteworthy would be Sneaky's brilliant performance on Corki by outdamaging his opponents in all fighting instances. The second game was the rematch between Team Liquid and Team Solomid. Despite an enormous amount of objective being taken in the first 20 minutes, none of the teams managed to get on a significant gold lead till that point. From then on, Team Liquid managed to pick up more objectives and kills, thus the gold lead. peaking at almost 14k at the 14-minute mark. From there, things went downhill as they overstayed to grab TSM's inhibitor and quickly got turned on, with Wild Turtle managing to grab a spectacular pentakill, enabling TSM to stall the game. After that, Liquid still refused to give away any objective control, but as they overreached for an inhibitor again, TSM realized the opportunity and turned the fight again, almost giving Wild Turtle a second penta in the process. This way, Team Liquid's gold lead shrunk to around 2k until they finally managed to pull ahead and rush for TSM's base. For the third game, Winterfox played Team Dignitas. Both teams were fairly even the first 28 minutes, with a few skirmishes taking place. But after a clever Baron pick-up by Dignitas, things went downhill for Winterfox quick. Several missed ults by Avalon, as well as some mispositioning by multiple members on Winterfox, ruined their comeback chance, and to top it off, Shift2 got massively fat on Kassadin, snowballing Dignitas to a win. In the next game, Team Coast was paired up with Team 8. The game of Team 8 against Team Coast provided interesting insights on how both teams operates. While Coast continues to look strong in laning phase and quickly falls off mid to late game when teamfights and map play become more important, Team 8 seems to work just the other way around. Apart from rare occasions, Team 8's laning phase rarely impresses, whereas their roaming and teamfighting is what pulls them ahead in most of their victories. This pattern once again showed as Team 8 took over after being slightly behind in laning phase. Objective and kills traits throughout the game always went in favor, and it almost seems that holding them down in lane is almost the only viable strat to keep them from becoming a serious threat in the later phases of the game. The last game was decided between Impulse and Gravity. Even though Gravity had a fairly interesting drafting phase, their recent high prioritization of Nunu can be called to question, with them not having very complementary carries to his kit. Impulse, on the other hand, went for a double AP fighting comp, using their high amount of utility with their 3 support style champions to ensure Apollo would be able to put out the highest amount of damage. Also note that Impulse's extremely high mobility prevented Gravity from grabbing any objective, resulting in a dominating win for Team Impulse, who despite suffering from severe communication problems caused by the multitude of nationalities featured within the team, managed to pull together a very high level of team play. If you enjoyed this video or have some advice or useful criticism, please go ahead and comment and or subscribe. Thanks for watching.